Now I will start our conference with the IHL clinic in University of Rio in Brazil. And I will introduce myself to you. My name is Nurhan Mustafa. I'm from Egypt. I'm 28 years old, and I am now manager at IHL unit at Maat for Peace, and also work coordinator activity about the IHL disarmament and representative Maat in all meeting of the disarmament in Geneva, New York, Vienna. And today with us, Dr. Ayman Aqil. He is the chairman for Maat for Peace. He will today opening the conference by Arab language, and we will share with you his intervention in the chat box in English. Dr. Ayman.
شكرا نورهان. Hello everybody. I am very happy because with you. I am so sorry I don't speak English very good. لكن طبعا انت قلت لهم ان نورهان هتحط الترجمه. عايز اقول في البدايه ان مؤسسه معت للسلام والتنميه وحقوق الانسان تعقد هذا المؤتمر بالتعاون طبعا مع الشباب من البرازيل، والجهد الكبير اللي عملوه الشباب سواء من مصر او البرازيل او الشباب اللي شارك معانا خلال الفتره اللي فاتت في الانشطه المرتبطه بحمايه الممتلكات الثقافيه في ظل القانون الدولي الانساني. في شك ان احنا كمان في مؤسسه معت مهتمين جدا بهذا الموضوع سواء بالقانون الدولي الانساني او بحمايه الممتلكات الثقافيه. يمكن ضخامه وجسامه الاخطار اللي موجوده اللي بتهدد الممتلكات الثقافيه بتفرض على المجتمع الدولي ككل انه يشارك في حمايه هذا التراث، ولازم يكون في دعم جماعي. مفيش شك ان التراث الثقافي بيمنح لكل شعب من الشعوب الهويه بتاعته اللي بتميزه عن غيره من باقي الشعوب، كما يمنحها كمان القيمه الاجتماعيه والفنيه والعلميه والتربويه، وده هو المكون الاساسي لاي حضاره. عشان كده لازم على كل شعب انه يحافظ على التراث بتاعه ويحميه علشان يؤدي الفقدان بتاع هذا التراث وزواله الى زوال الهويه بتاعه الشعب. اتفاقيه اليونسكو لسنه 72 كانت بتحدد التراث العالمي بنوعين: تراث ثقافي وتراث طبيعي. التراث الثقافي هو المعالم الاثريه والمباني الفنيه والتاريخيه والمواقع والاعمال الاثريه، وده طبعا بيبقى ناتج عن عمل الانسان او الطبيعه والانسان مع بعض. بيتم حمايه جميع الممتلكات الثقافيه والتراث الثقافي من خلال قوانين. هذه القوانين اما قوانين وطنيه او عن طريق المعاهدات الدوليه اللي بتمنع طبعا المتاجره غير المشروعه بالاثار او الاشياء الثقافيه او نهب المواقع الاثريه او تدمير المباني التاريخيه والمعالم اللي بيؤدي الى الحاق ضرر لا يمكن اصلاحه. عشان كده منظمه الامم المتحده للتربيه والعلوم والثقافه اللي هي اليونسكو عملت اتفاقيات، اعتمدت اتفاقيات دوليه تتعلق بحمايه التراث الثقافي، وعلشان يحصل تعزيز من التفاهم بين الثقافات ويحصل نوع من التعاون الدولي. عشان كده حماية الممتلكات الثقافية أثناء النزاعات المسلحة ده موضوع من الموضوعات اللي بيبقى له أهمية كبرى، وكثرة النزاعات المسلحة دي بتعرض الممتلكات الثقافية للاعتداء وللتخريب. حصل هنا جهود كبيرة من المجتمع الدولي علشان يحصل حماية لهذه الممتلكات والإرث الحضاري. استقر العرف الدولي هنا على ان للدولة الحق في المحافظة على ممتلكاتها الثقافية واستردادها كمان في حالة سرقها او نهبها. عشان كده الممتلكات الثقافية تتمتع بحماية خلال الحرب، وتنطبق عليها كمان الأحكام العامة للقانون الدولي الإنساني اللي بتحمي الممتلكات المدنية بحكم أنها بتكون مملوكة للدولة. تتضمن اتفاقية لاهاي كمان بعض الأحكام الخاصة بحماية الممتلكات الثقافية وأماكن العبادة في أحوال النزاعات المسلحة. وكانت اللائحة بتقول طبعا ده في اتفاقية لاهاي اللي صدرت سنة 1899 و 1907. مفيش شك طبعا ان الدمار اللي بيلحق به التراث الثقافي ده بيؤثر في هوية الشعوب. لو رجعنا لورا شوية للحرب العالمية الثانية على وجه التحديد واللي حصل وضع أسس ومرتكزات علشان نحمي الممتلكات الثقافية، ولما تم اعتماد اتفاقية لاهاي لحماية الملكية الثقافية حالة نشوب صراع مسلح، وتحديدا ده كان سنة 1954. عشان كده احنا بنقول مهم جدا ان احنا نعمل على حماية الممتلكات الثقافية. يمكن النهاردة وجود الاتفاقية لوحدها لا تكفي، علشان كده في كتير من القوات المتحاربة أدت نتيجة الحروب لتدمير التراث الثقافي لشعوب أخرى. ويمكن عندنا أمثلة كتيرة موجودة في نزاعات سواء كانت في منطقة الشرق الأوسط أو في أفريقيا أو في المنطقة العربية. يمكن بنقول مثلا على سبيل المثال إن في أكثر من 12,000 قطعة أثرية نهبت من العراق، وكذلك الأمر بالنسبة للبنان تم برضو نهب آثار موجودة هناك. في الوقت الذي لا تزال فيه الحرب برضو دائرة دلوقتي وموجودة روسيا وأوكرانيا واللوحات اللي أتلفت والمتاحف التي أتلفت. علشان كده احنا عندنا رسالة محددة وواضحة في مؤسسة ماعت، ومن خلال هذا المؤتمر والختام اللي احنا بنتكلم فيه عن حماية الممتلكات الثقافية اللي موجودة، يجب أن يكون في مراقبة للمناطق المعرضة للخطر من أجل تقديم توعية حول النزاعات ومنع الكوارث. عشان كده مهم كمان نعيد النظر في اعتبار جريمة الاعتداء على التراث الثقافي لأي شعب من الشعوب هي جريمة إبادة ثقافية للشعب ده، وينطوي طبعا على تصميم وإرادة للدولة المعتدية اللي بتنهب ممتلكات ثقافية لدول أخرى. مش عايز أطيل على حضراتكم، الكلمة موجودة باللغة الإنجليزية موجودة في الشات بوكس. سعيد إن أنا أكون موجود معاكم ومع مجموعة كبيرة من الشباب على مستوى العالم. سعداء إن احنا نكون جزء من منظومة بتحاول إن هي تمنع النزاع، تمنع الصراع، تمنع الحروب. وإذا حدث نزاع أو حروب ما بين دول مهم جدا إن احنا نحمي الممتلكات المدنية، نحمي التراث الثقافي للدول، نحمي حق المدنيين والبنية التحتية. شكرا لحضراتكم وشكرا نورهان وموفقين بإذن الله.
To see the chat box to read the translation for the speech for Dr. Ayman. And now I would like to open the first briefing about our work in this project. The International Humanitarian Law Unit at Maat for Peace, cooperation with the International Humanitarian Law Clinic for Federation University of Rio, and that we in this cooperation thinking that should to support youth in different countries to exchange the information and know more about that, how to implementation the treaty. Today, we in the first session, we will talk with you about our activity here in the IHL unit at Maat and disarmament. We established in 2020, and we in this year thinking that we have the responsibility, international responsibility to support the implementation, the treaty, especially the Geneva Convention, the Protocol, and we think that we should support more NGO in Middle East to work closely with the international organization in this field. And when we think that we found that we have big gap for the implementation and that work of the civil society. And that also we have a different area of armed conflict specific in the non-armed, the national um, armed conflict that, and that also we try to think that if we support the youth, we will make the change. In this, I will invite that Professor, I wish to precision your name is good because that the different language is very difficult. And that's the main goal with achieve in this research, the different language. And I would like to invite the Professor Valan from the University Federation of the Rio. The floor for you.
And professionals in such field in order to stimulate specialized knowledge. Our task of disseminating international humanitarian law in Brazil is also very important. We intend to contribute to Brazilian obligations assumed by Brazil in Geneva conventions. IHL Clinic is organized into 7 working groups. Administration group is in charge of internal organization and external representation. It guarantees means and supervises members' performances. The second group, events working group, is in charge of organizing public events as workshops, seminars. Communication working group discloses all about our clinic and relevant information about IHL, especially on social networks. Competition working group selects and trains people to events, to contests, especially teams to participate in international and national contests. Advocacy working group aim to act as consultancy before courts. Research working group studies the most different themes of IHL, writing production. And last but not least, clinic members can participate of a teaching working group, the last group. This is a training group for members. Our clinic, IHL Clinic of Federal University, is proud to be part of a law school. Our law school is 122 years old. In it, relevant figures of Brazilian Republic studied, such Getúlio Vargas. And Getúlio Vargas is the most important president of Brazilian history. He was responsible for Brazilian welfare state. In such context, social rights are really important to our law school and especially to our clinic. For us, it's an honor to participate in an event about cultural property under IHL law. It's really important. It's an honor. Thank you.
You are muted, Nurhan.
Your microphone.
You're still muted, Nurhan.
Nurhan? Your microphone is still off.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Uh, Thank you, Professor, for covering your activity in the university. This is important because this is support more used to understand the rule of law, and we need to that all university in different country make such as your activity. And I would like to tell all participation today one of most goal for our research paper to support youth in Middle East specific, because that and recently I'm so happy to hear that some university here in Egypt to trying and start to support the IHL in that the studying in the university. I think that when we start at Maat in 2020, we found the big gap for our national university to work in specific this topic. And we try to advocacy for that. I'm so glad today in 2022, we have some program in national university work in specific this field. And also, I'm so happy because that we take that chance and advocacy in the Middle East specific to work in this. Like your university, your activity, Professor, here Matt work with the different organization and different actors to start to promoting that and implementation the treaties. We make the research paper. We make that also the activity like research activity. We trying to visiting the area of armed conflict. We try to organize the training workshop for youth to understand more details about the different topic. And I will give the floor for the second speaker, Isabel and Louisa. I am happy because that we coordinated together this research paper and this project. I will give the floor firstly for Isabel. She worked with me closely to success for this project. Isabel, the floor for you.
Thank you. So good morning, good afternoon, colleagues from Maat, dearest researchers and distinguished audience. I am Isabel Marcondes and the former head coordinator from the Federal University of Rio Grande do Sul IHL Clinic. And I acted as an assistant coordinator together with Nurhan Mustafa from Maat in this project. I've prepared a written speech, and unfortunately today my street is a little bit noisy, so I ask you to bear with me. This collaboration was an initiative from our colleagues from Maat, which our clinic happily accepted and turned out to be the first cooperation with another IHL clinic, as well as first international joint research project. As some may identify, a project combining a diverse group of people speaking different languages with different cultures, research backgrounds, as well as in different time zones can bring some challenges. Challenges those happily overcome one by the diligent, patient, and beautiful work of the researchers, and which resulted in the paper we today have the pleasure to accompany the publication. I salute the researchers for their dedication and hard work. Before addressing the line of research and topic chosen, I would like to talk about our clinic objectives relevant to the participation in this project, those found to be common between Brazil's and Egypt's group. As law school clinics focus on IHL enable students to participate directly in the development and application of IHL through concrete real-world work, from training to research, litigation to high-level advocacy, and many spaces in between, This joint research was meant as an opportunity to match our clinical pedagogy with cutting-edge issues in armed conflict to deepen the students' law school experiences and also enable them to engage in the IHL goals of promotion, implementation, and enforcement. The ability to work effectively in the field of IHL depends on a thorough knowledge of public international law and IHL's foundational components. For instance, the thresholds for triggering application of IHL, core IHL principles, the status of persons, rules for the conduct of hostilities, and accountability for grave breaches and other violations of IHL, just to name a few. It also requires an understanding of customary international law and the ways in which general IHL principles may be deployed to frame IHL arguments. All of those were put into practice by the researchers in the course of this project. IHL, it is a well-established field, but is also a dynamic one, expanded by the addition of international and domestic fora for accountability and advocacy. With the pace of technological development, it will remain the way going forward. Its central legal norms are found in the 1949 Geneva Conventions, as well as their 1977 additional protocols, and a series of other codifications in areas such as cultural property, for example, that has expanded the reach of the law since the 70s. With this in mind, after many online meetings, the researchers chose the topic of cultural property protection and the discussion of its different thresholds, a common interest between the students and a very sensible and important issue. Historical cities, monuments, and cultural ceremonies date back to several decades, which creates a sense of social cohesion and promotes an individual collective sense of identity and humanity. Protecting cultural properties, it is significantly important given its role in shaping national identity and in practicing the world's view of societies. IHL guarantees respect and protection for cultural properties against the effects of armed conflicts. However, specific rules and conventions provide for different models and levels of protection, such as the first additional protocol to the Geneva Convention and the 1954 Hague Convention for the Protection of Cultural Properties in the event of armed conflict. Although there have been different interpretations, there is no consensus on how to reconcile these instruments. In this project, the students participated in developing a definition for cultural property and exploring the relationship between these different legal instruments, proposing an application based on public international law principles. This
Your voice, Isabel. You are mute, Isabel.
Isabel, you're not muted, but your voice just disappeared.
Huh?
A growing list of actors is deeply engaged in enforcement, education, implementation, and legal interpretation of IHL. A mere glance at the major newspapers on any given day points to an array of issues that invoke or touch on IHL in some way. In this very dynamism and vulnerability that makes IHL a worthwhile choice, giving students the opportunity to see the first-hand that law is malleable, constantly interpreted, and subjected to debate and controversy, and perhaps most importantly, to see that they can, with this research, engage with its norms and institutions and play a part, even a small one, or even in a small one, helping to promote and even shape it. Once again, I would like to congratulate the researchers for the wonderful paper and thank everyone's presence in this event and the time invested to celebrate this publication. I would like now to pass to my clinic colleague, Luisa Fernandez, to talk a little bit more about the URGS IHL clinic. Thank you.
Good morning or good afternoon, everyone. I'm Luisa Fernandes, and I'm a law student at the Federal University of Rio Grande do Sul, and I'm the current academic coordinator of the URGS IHL clinic. I would like to give a brief explanation on what is the URGS IHL International Humanitarian Law Clinic. So we are Brazil's first IHL clinic, and we serve as a center for legal consultation, learning, and researching on international humanitarian law. We work on many different areas related to the study and dissemination of IHL, such as the promotion of events and webinars for disseminating the knowledge of IHL to the general public, to academic and non-academic public. We work on the development of research and academic productions on the IHL field, the participation in international moot courts, as my professor Rodrigo Valim said, the attendance in public international law classes as special guests within the Federal University of Rio Grande do Sul. And this year we are hosting our own national monograph competition alongside the regional delegation of the International Committee of the Red Cross. For us, engaging students in research in the field of international humanitarian law is a major duty. Today, we know that the development of a country and a society is directly related to the level of academic study that its citizens receive. Societies that give due value to education tend to come out ahead, and that's our goal in the clinic, to develop people and to develop IHL knowledge. With an international armed conflict taking place in our today's world, it is essential to have people who are interested in IHL and that want to deepen their knowledge in the subject. Also, in relation to non-international armed conflicts that have been happening since the beginning of humankind. In Brazil, IHL is not so taught in the academic field, in law schools, and that's why the clinic was founded, to suppress the lack of specialized people in the area here in Brazil. As a result of our work in the clinic, I can mention that in 2019, 2 members of the clinic went to Belarus to take part in the international law competition Youth for Peace and ended up winning the competition. This was the first competition that the clinic took part in. Also this year, teams were sent to 2 international competitions, the Jean Pictet competition that is well known in the IHL field, and also the Manuel Munoz Borrero competition that is held in Ecuador by the Ecuadorian Red Cross. The team of our university that was composed of 3 women from the clinic won first place in the Manuel Munoz Borrero competition, and one of the members was named Best Speaker, Leticia Heisman. In addition, the second Brazilian conference on IHL is being organized, planned for November in this year of 2022. A collective research project is also being developed, in addition to supervising the writing of the articles for the IHL monograph contest. Also, 5 members of the clinic were selected for the Academic Congress on National Defense, organized by the Ministry of Defense here in Brazil, for writing an article that deals with protecting the environment in times of armed conflict. More than that, weekly internal training activities are being carried out, conducted by the teaching working group, and assisting in the effective training of project members. Regarding the dissemination of knowledge to the general public, short, easy-to-read articles are published on the clinic's blog, covering topics ranging from basic topics to more controversial discussions. It is expected to continue expanding the scope of this work in the clinic throughout the year, through the organization and participation in events, as well as the dissemination of the activities carried out. Thank you so much. And I'm glad to be here with you.
Thank you, Luisa. Thank you, Isabel. I'm glad to work with you in this research. Congratulations for your effort. Thank you for work together closely to finish this project and talk today with different country about our work. And also I would like to close this the first session, and I would like to tell everyone joined today the conference, the younger generation have the power, and if we work to support the youth, we will make the difference. If we listen the youth, we will make the difference. Today, those youth work together 1 year and we understand we have the big challenges for the language, for the thinking, for how to collect the information, but still that learn a lot from their work. Now I will move to my colleague Philippe to start the second session with the different experts, and that I think this good to listen for experts from different overview to talk about the culture of poverty, and also celebrate for 73 years for Geneva Convention. Philippe, the floor for you, but I would like to mention to you, Dr. Monia Ammar will speak in Arabic, and the chat box will the translation for she intervention.